Dear children, welcome to the next session on the chapter Plant Kingdom. In this module, we are going to learn about the third division in kingdom planting, that is pteridophytes. The pteridophytes, they include horsetails and ferns. This is very common in most of our houses. These are the ferns and it belongs to the division pteridophytes. They are found in cool, damp, shady regions and some can flourish very well in sandy soil conditions. Pteridophytes are the first terrestrial plants which have a vascular tissue. Okay, so Thallophyta did not have vascular tissue, neither did the Bryophyte have. So they are the first terrestrial. Terrestrial means the plants that grow on land. So they are the first terrestrial plants which have well developed vascular tissues. We know vascular tissues are complex tissues which are made up of xylem and phloem. So they include horsetails and ferns. They are used for medicinal purposes. They are used as soil binders. They help to bind the soil and thus prevent soil erosion, and some are grown as ornamentals. These are examples of different types of ferns or pteridophytes. About the reproduction in pteridophytes. The plant body is a sporophyte. We know sporophyte, they are diploid, and here the sporophyte is photosynthetic and they are free living. And these sporophyte, we have learned its functions to produce spores. So the spores are produced in specialized structure called as sporangia. We would have seen certain black colored dots at the basal level of the leaves of the pteridophytes. So these are the spores produced inside sporangia. Okay, spores produced inside specialized structure called as sporangia. And where then is these sporangia produced? They are produced on leaf-like appendages called as sporophylls. So these sporangia bearing structures or leaf-like appendages, they are called as sporophytes. So this is the adult sporophyte, which is 2N, and it has certain leaf-like appendages called as sporophylls. On the sporophylls, sporangia are produced, and on the sporangia or inside the sporangia, spores are produced. In some cases, the sporophylls, they form distinct structures, and these are called, they are cone-like, and they are called as strobilus or cone. And such strobilus or cone is seen in certain pteridophytes like Selaginella, or it is seen in Equisetum. About the reproduction in pteridophytes, it is by means of spores which are haploid. And spores are haploid means what is the division which helps in the production of spores? It is meiosis, and it is taking place in the sporangia. These spores, they germinate by giving an inconspicuous, small, multicellular, free-living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophyte, which is called as the prothallus. This is a prothallus stage. It is produced by the germination of the spores, and the spores germinate to produce the gametophyte, and this gametophyte in the case of pteridophytes is called as the prothallus. What is the speciality of the prothallus? It is inconspicuous. It does not have much dominant. It is inconspicuous. It is very small. It is multicellular. It is free living and photosynthetic. That means the gametophyte is not dependent on the sporophyte for its nutrition. So prothallus, it requires cool, damp, shady places to grow, and also it needs water for fertilization. So what is the function of the gametophyte? To produce the gametes so that fertilization can take place. So the spread of pteridophytes is limited and restricted to narrow geographical areas where it is damp or it is humid. Why? Because the gametophyte can produce gametes only if it is having, because the gametophyte requires water, because it needs water for fertilization. The gametophyte, it bears the male and female sex organs called as antheridia and archegonia. You can see this is the archegonia, and it also bears the antheridia, which produces the male and female gametes. The water is needed for the transfer of antherzoids, that is male gametes, which is produced in the antheridia to the mouth of the archegonia, which is flask-shaped, and the antheroid fuses together with the egg to form within the archegonium to form the zygote, and these zygote, we know they are diploid. So the sporophyte, it produces spores by meiosis. So spores germinate to produce the prothallus, and this prothallus is gametophyte and is haploid, and these produce gametes which are again haploid, and they fuse together to form a zygote, which is diploid, and the zygote develops into a sporophyte. We can see the zygote developing into a sporophyte. So that's about the life cycle of the pteridophytes. Now about the nature of these spores. Most of the pteridophytes, they produce only one type of spores. They are called as homosporous plants. Whereas in some pteridophytes, they produce two types of spores. Either they are called as microspores or megaspores. So such plants which produce two types of spores are called as heterosporous. So homosporous produce only one type of spores, and heterosporous, they produce two types of spores, namely mega and micro. The megaspores and microspores, they germinate to give rise to the male gametophyte and female gametophyte. The male gametophyte is produced by the germination of microspore, and female gametophyte is produced by the germination of megaspore. And the female gametophyte are retained on the parent sporophytes for variable periods. And within the female gametophytes, what happens? The zygote develops into a young embryo, and this event is a precursor to seed formation or seed habit, and it is considered to be an important step in evolution. So in heterosporous plants, there are two gametophytes, male produced by the microspore and female produced by the germination of the megaspore, and the female gametophyte is retained within the main sporophyte, okay, for variable number of periods, and within the female gametophyte the fertilization occurs and it develops into zygote, and this is a precursor of formation of seed, which is a very important step in evolution. So this is about the reproduction. We can see the sporophyte, the adult sporophyte, which bears the sporophyll. On the sporophyll there are sporangia, which produces, which undergo meiosis to produce the haploid spores, and these spores, they germinate together. They germinate to produce the prothallus. This is the prothallus, which bears the male and female reproductive structures, namely antheridium and archegonium. The antheridia produces the anthozoids, and the archegonia bears the egg, which fuses within the archegonia to produce the zygote. The zygote develops into a young embryo, and this develops into a mature sporophyte, which is again diploid. So dear children, that is about the general features of pteridophytes. Now there are four classes within the pteridophytes. They are called as Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteropsida. Dear children, in this module we learnt about the general features of the third division under kingdom Plantae, namely pteridophytes. Thank you.